Pain. I think everybody else, Clockwork is great. You get a hook into a Cogs. The Earthshaker, Witch Doctor, and the Lion should be fairly easy to bring down. But at the moment to deal with the Queen of Pain, they've pretty much only got a lift. If Clockwork plays it really nicely, he can hook in, and then they can lift, and then Clock can bounce with the Cogs for a little extra stun duration as well, but that isn't necessarily reliable, and that does make, I think, the Queen of Pain pretty scary this game. And Rave could even end up going for another fairly mobile hero as their last pick. I don't know what Invasion can... I mean, they've got the one position to grab here.
They could grab another Drow Ranger. Another very ranged, heavy lineup, and does give you a silence to deal with the Queen of Pain. I don't think the Drow was the weak point of their draft in the last game, but okay, they do something completely different here. They take the Weaver.
I thought Rave were going to consider taking the Weaver because I was just talking about, okay, well, they don't have a whole lot of lockdown. It's very difficult to catch these more elusive heroes, but looks like Invasion are going to try and run aggressive, potentially. This is something that we used to see in the past, the Weaver plus Ancient Apparition abusing the synergy between Chilling Touch and Geminate Attack for a lot of burst damage in Tri-Lane versus Tri-Lane scenarios. And Rave, no hesitation whatsoever after seeing that Weaver pick, not even using all of their time. They're just very confident going straight into the Phantom Lancer here. Yeah, well, PL, another hero that kind of shines when there isn't a lot of lockdown in here. They do not have much AoE clear. I mean, sure, you've got Shadow Razors from the Shadow Fiend, but nothing on the same level as like a flat cannon from the Gyro, or even a Queen of Pain for that matter, to just deal with those illusions. So I like this PL pick. Yeah, and I think it's even more about, like you said, single target lockdown for the Phantom Lancer than it is about AoE. The new PL spawns illusion so quickly that it's not even about... It's more about finding the real PL and then locking him down than it is about clearing out all of the illusions and dealing with him that way. So, and it's such a problem when you clear some illusions, you find the Phantom Lancer, you drop one disable on him, but then he's immediately able to just get out of the disables, pop the doppelganger, and from that point you're just never going to kill him. So that is going to be really tough for Invasion. It looks like Rave, getting a pretty decent read on this Invasion potential aggressive tri-lane, are just going to come charging down into their jungle at the moment here to make sure that there aren't any wards being placed, that their pull camp isn't out, and position themselves decently at the start. I'm not a huge fan of the fact that Invasion sent their Clockwork off to go and place a ward at the start here, because it means that they aren't fighting for the Radiant jungle at all, and that does mean that Rave might be able to build up a little bit of an advantage just by sitting there and pulling, and that puts even more pressure on Invasion and makes the tri-lane execution even harder, because you have to make the correct calls about moving in, positioning yourself properly, and kind of fighting for the pull. Fortunately for Invasion, this is a situation where Clockwork's 1v1 matchup isn't going to be too terrible, and I think that's the one thing that they kind of caught Rave off guard with somewhat, that this time around they've actually got a Clockwork against Earthshaker. There
we go. Chilling Touch deployed, and well, one bounty rune will go the way of the Dire, and Clockwork with the other. So yeah, there you go. Invasion with a decent start at least.
Yeah, I wonder if they actually managed to fake Rave out somewhat there, because Rave are probably thinking, okay, we think that they're going for an aggressive tri-lane, so just to confirm that suspicion, let's go bot and let's see if we have anybody coming in to try and block our pull. Oh, we didn't see anybody. Maybe they're just going for standard lanes. Maybe they're not feeling confident after the way that the last game played out. They don't want to go for the gamble. And then they all come roaring out of the, roaring down from the high ground.
Oh, just out of range.
Oh, man.
That's unfortunate.
This is why you tango the tree and you put it down on the stump. That's there's a reason that those are the people list those as the instructions for getting that D-ward off.
You're absolutely right. The Magic Push, one of the more predictable spots. It blocks 2 camps there, and this time it will not be D-warded. So that limits farming area for Rave.
As well.
Yep, exactly. The first one they burned a little willy-nilly there early on. So minor advantage for Invasion as they get started in the lane, but I do like this Rave draft just a little bit more. I think this mid-game, once the lanes start to break down, will give them just a minor advantage simply because they just have more lockdown. The point you were mentioning about Weaver being good for Rave because Invasion don't have much lockdown, the counterpoint holds true here, where Rave have Hex, Earth Spike, you've got everything the Earthshaker brings out, Witch Doctor Cask. There's a lot of lockdown for this Weaver, and Queen of Pain I think will probably go for an Orchid. This seems like a pretty good Orchid game game for me. The Lincoln's first Weaver has sort of fallen out of favor, so that's an additional piece of lockdown that may catch the Weaver a bit off guard.
Yeah, if this Lion manages to get up to his Blink Dagger in a decent timing, that is going to be very scary for the Weaver. And I do wonder what kind of build we're going to be seeing from the Weaver here. We don't really see a heck of a lot of this hero.
We've seen a lot of just Desolator rushes recently. I'm like picturing Burning and who else has been playing Weaver? It's not been a hell of a lot, but the few that I've seen have almost exclusively been Power Treads, Desolator.
Wow, that was actually Ryo's first Earthshaker game in a Pro Match. Wow, cast bouncing a little bit here.
Oh, Extinct. Taking some harassment. Yeah. Nothing too crazy. Talk about a good debut on a hero in competitive. I mean, that's really impressive.
About the best that you can ask for. Well, here you go. It's round 2. Let's see if he can put it together this game as well.
Was it beginner's luck? Only time will tell. So you made a great point though about this the Dire safe lane. Clockwork is farming very nicely, and conversely, Earthshaker will get a lot of early XP, but Clockwork will have his power curve comes on a little earlier. Once he gets level 6, he can really have a big impact. The Earthshaker, he'll need to farm a little bit more until he can get that Arcane Blink type duo before he really starts getting scary. So I feel like there is some pressure on this Clockwork to make some plays happen once he finds level 6, level 7, somewhere around there. But there's always that opportunity cost of once he starts roaming about, Ryo will be able to basically free farm.
This is so cheeky from Shaitan. He knows that once they're outside of the creep wave, Ryo can do absolutely nothing, so just gonna sit right there. I don't even know if he's gonna miss any creeps here underneath the tower. It looks like one is gonna end up falling, but making life very difficult for the Earthshaker. The one thing that the Invasion tri-lane does need to be a little bit afraid of, I think, is this Queen of Pain. Chrissy's doing extremely well on this mid lane, 18 and 12 against the 13 and 2 Shadow Fiends, so that's looking good for him. And he might be able to go down and win the tri-lane a little bit later on as well for Rave, or at least turn things around.
All right, we'll skirmish up top. A bottle has come out for the Earthshaker, and he will sip it to an appropriate level of HP. So far, this aggro tri-lane for Invasion has been working very well, though. The Weaver with a lot of farm, 18 and 7 compared to the 5 and 0 PL. Rave don't seem to be too concerned about it, though. Rather than trying to contest the tri-lane head-to-head, they're having this line roam around, making it a 2v3, and that's why J.O.'s not able to farm as much as he would like. So putting some stock in this Queen of Pain, like you were mentioning, seems to be the way of it for Rave so far. Lion ready to gank mid if the Shadow Fiend steps forward.
Rave did finally get the D-Ward off on the pull as well, so we've now got the Witch Doctor down there getting some levels going for himself, so that's looking good. And another Cogs bounce back, but like you were saying, Lion's just camping mid at the moment, hoping for this kill opportunity. I think the Queen of Pain should be reaching level 6 soonish. Yep, looks like
will do it.
Another creep, and that'll probably be the kill attempt if Slicks moves forward.
Yeah.
Bottom lane should be calling out the fact that both of the supports are missing, though, and as a result, he should play this fairly safe, but might still be in trouble.
Ninja Boogie comes in. Queen of Pain blinks forward. There's the scream. Sonic Wave will be deployed. First blood drawn by Chrissy, and the victim will be Slicks. Extinct will TP in, but gets hexed straight away. Chrissy will have a blink in about 5 seconds. Oh, he's got a regen as well. Extinct could be in some trouble here. It gets pinged out by Ninja Boogie. Does he have the mana for it? We'll see. Yes, he does. Telekinesis onto Chrissy, but it's only level 1. Doesn't do a hell of a lot. Now the hookshot comes in from Shaitan. Does not keep the Rubik alive, but it will set up for a 1-for-1 trade as Lion ends up hitting the deck. So still a worthy rotation, but obviously Rave getting the advantage out of that initial skirmish.
Yeah, they did extremely well, and they managed to draw attention one away from bottom lane, and they made the Clockwork reveal himself and use that first hook shot. So that's going to start opening up, once again, similar kind of space for the Earthshaker to find some farm over on top lane, and that one move, I think, just adjusted everything perfectly for Rave to start farming and getting things done and sort of catching up from this farm deficit that they were at. Because now you look at it, Earthshaker's only 3 creeps behind the Clockwork. the Phantom Lancer still pretty significantly behind the Weaver for now, but...
Oh, Shaitan. Yep, he'll rotate back up towards the top lane. Ninja Boogie sets up the stun. Power Cogs come out, but it actually pulls both Rave members inside. Battery Assault buying him a little bit of space here to sip up the bottle. He's got one more. Ninja Boogie can't quite catch up. Now Slicks, he's smoked up with some friends. They're trying to close the gap, but NB on the run, and both sides will survive. Close call for Shaitan, but nicely played there, using the Battery Assault to make some space and drink that bottle. Now Chrissy on his way in. The smoked up heroes will be revealed, and he blinks up to the high ground.
Okay, so at the moment it's just a 1v1 down bottom lane between the PL and the Weaver, so the PL is definitely going to start picking up a little bit of farm here. He doesn't have any regen left, but that might be being delivered by... yeah, it looks like it is going to get delivered here by the Witch Doctor as he comes in, and that's going to be the Phantom Lancer's bottle. So nice little pickup for him there. And top lane, action breaking out, Extinct getting jumped, Totem comes in, a few more auto attacks to finish him. Lion gets that kill, Chilling Touch comes out now as Invasion look for the turnaround.
Oh, hook shot, I heard it somewhere. And looks like Ryo will be okay. Uh-oh, I take that back. Slick's waiting. And on the low ground, we'll pick up the kill on the Earthshaker. But now Chrissy has a Sonic Wave, turns onto Slicks, doesn't quite have the damage for the kill. A few more auto attacks will be all he needs. Chrissy will find the kill, trying to blink away a lot of stick charges. It'll be just fine. Ray fairly happy with that exchange for sure, as the Queen of Pain pulling way ahead in net worth after finding that solo pickup. 2 Sonic Waves and 2 kills on the Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, Chrissy's getting off to a great start here, and Jo now starting to pick up the pace down bottom. Clockwork has not been all that successful thus far. I mean, he's used 2 hook shots, but neither of them has really resulted in all that much, and Shaitan does hopefully need to get things started. Invasion also... The one thing that they do have somewhat of a problem with is being able to hand over a lane to either of their supports to be able to pick up their level 6. They do have Shadow Fiend who can clear the jungle, but that frees up mid lane, and there's a very scary Queen of Pain who can pick up solo kills on either of the supports if they go try and farm there. So I'm a bit worried for Invasion in terms of how they're going to find the level 6 on the Rubik and the Ancient Apparition, which they definitely need. They need the Ice Blast as some help for the Clockwork once he starts moving around and trying to find some more ganks.
Yep, definitely. And look at this little tweak here from Ryo. Phase boots this go around. He rushed the Arcanes last time, but I'm not sure what to make of this. I guess a little bit of movement speed.
He's got the maxed enchant totem. So
is this like a crit shaker coming out here? This is completely different. Whoa, Echo! Oh, mama, that's a dead Weaver. Okay, now I see the utility of those phase boots. He was not ready for that one. Slicks in a lot of trouble. Chrissy will have to back out as TP rotations are on the way, but man, that bug got swatted.
Yeah, that was not very pleasant. Shaitan keeps TPing in here, but Chrissy's got the blink off cooldown. They need to be very careful. Okay, there's the blink used. Can he land this hook? Pump fakes it.
Very nice, but the line's right down the low ground. Chrissy will eat some stick charges, comes back up. Shaitan will go down before the quad falls, so still find some experience out of it, but extends that spree, which Slicks will end for a pretty penny. Now Ninja Boogie on the run, will go down, throws a stun out onto the Weaver under the tower, but time lapse will cure his woes as he hops back to full HP. So nice little trade there for Invasion, double kill for Slicks, and some much needed momentum going his way as they slow down that Queen of Pain.
Yeah, the one thing I will say is that I think that was a slightly awkward blink angle for the Queen of Pain going back towards the mid lane, because even if you blink towards, you know, maybe blink towards the rune or blink a little bit further into the jungle, even if the Clockwork finds you, it takes at least one more hero for him to actually be able to get that kill. So I think a little bit of panic from Chrissy, but Invasion definitely going to be quite happy to pick up those kills. Not without the trade, however, as we do have JO's Phantom Lancer just farming away on bottom lane and has pretty much already caught up to the Weaver as well.
This seems to be a recurring theme now across the first game and the little bit we've seen here in Game 2, where Invasion's movements around the map have certainly not been bad, but Rave seem to always make sure there's someone farming one of the side lanes.
And I think they're being more efficient.
Yes, that's exactly the articulate way to say it. But it's been impressive, and it seems like Invasion are just always trying to play catch-up, where if they rotate bottom, then the Earthshaker gets the free farm, and vice versa with the PL farming. So things looking a little bit more spread here in general, and now Slicks gets himself the mechanism.
And the Dire supports are really struggling. They haven't been able to make it out on the map to go and place any wards just yet, so the vision advantage is definitely Rave's. And they're looking a little bit better on levels now. They've got the level 6 up on the Rubik, and they have managed to pass the mid lane over to Boons at this stage so that he can pick up that Ice Blast. So I feel like they are adjusting well.
Alpha Ninja, the big culprit here of going Phase Boots Earthshaker. He's picked it up 6 out of the 15 times that these boots have been built in Pro Dota. Interesting little stat there.
Yeah. Yeah, actually that's very overwhelming for Alpha Ninja up there, but oh well. Different players, different preference. That's just how Dota works. Yeah. Everybody has their unique item build.
A much different region of the world, but sort of a similar play style in terms of Dota.
Yeah,
SEA and CIS, both known for their crazy aggression at times. So interesting how that kind of works out. But
all right, so Queen of Pain has had a fantastic start to this game. She's getting very close to finishing up her Orchid, which is ridiculously scary for this Weaver at the moment, because while he's got some net worth, he doesn't really have all that many items to show for it. He's just building up little bits and pieces here and there.
It looks like drums are on the way.
About to be picked up, so
I don't think he can go Lincolns after this. Drum, I think, is an okay stop-off for just some extra HP, but he'll have to build into damage, and that's where this Orchid is just potentially crippling.
I feel like Invasion didn't get as much value as they were hoping for out of the aggressive tri-lane, because that's what they really looked like they were picking specifically for. They were saying, okay, we're going to pick the Weaver AA combo, we're going to crush the tri-lane, we know that our Clockwork is going to win the safe lane, and it should be an even mid lane, and so in theory they're winning 2 out of the 3 lanes and they're getting a great start in the early game, but Rave managed to break things down so quickly and got right back into the game off of that one move mid.
Yeah, exactly.
Was really, really nicely played.
The PL was getting zoned out so well, but all of that zoning they did just didn't go to waste, but was quickly recovered by PL with just a couple minutes of farm. So good to see a fight break out in the mid as Rays start to rotate down. Taking a look at the vision, it is nighttime, and Invasion do not see them coming. Rocket Flare will just move into the mid lane, so they don't quite
Echo Slam that stack. He's like, no, Shadow Fiend, you're not going to get this.
Was it a double stack, or was it bigger?
I didn't see, but it was at least.
I mean, he's very close to his blink, so of all the times to do something like that, I think this would be the time to do it. He's, what, now 200 gold away, something like that?
Pretty much.
Yeah, very nice.
Okay, so things looking good there. Clockwork still hasn't done much.
Sonic Wave down bottom, shuts down the Clockwork, and Chrissy will probably shatter here. Yep, from downtown. Boons will get the recovery kill.
That was such a nice Ice Blast, actually.
Yeah, it really was.
I mean, he must have thrown that as the fight was starting closer towards the tier 2, and just like, yeah, okay, Queen of Pain's gonna have the blink at some stage, and I'm gonna have to.
Did the Quap have a TP scroll? Yeah, she could have just blinked into the tree line to TP out there. So that was a really nice Ice Blast, really reading the movements there of where Quap wanted to go.
Okay, so that turned out to be a great trade, especially since they have that stolen Sonic Wave now as well over on the Rubik. Just needs to pick up some mana to be able to go and use that. And I was just about to say that I feel like Shatan hasn't been able to get that much done thus far, but well, sets up for a 1-for-1 trade down bottom lane there, so that's at least decent, but not the fastest start for this Clockwork. He's a little bit down on levels, and I feel like they were hoping to get more out of him from forcing that 1v1 against the Earthshaker, but hasn't quite worked out that way.
100% agreed, and even though in the initial laning stage the Clockwork was outfarming the Earthshaker, the impact from the ES has just been so much bigger so far. And here we go, hook shot into the tree line, right on a Ninja Boogie, gets off an Earth Spike, but doesn't quite hit the Weaver. He'll be the first casualty of this fight. And now the rest of the Radiant side will be kind of on the back foot here. Cast trying to make it back, but again, brought down, and even without the Ice Blast, still able to find the kill. Slicks gets credit for that one.
All right, so Invasion finding some pace here, getting things going. This is more of what they were looking for, definitely, from the Clockwork, moving around, finding the solo pickoffs on the Lion and the Witch Doctor. So just gonna end up being tier 1 for tier 1 trade with a couple of supports tacked on top. But Invasion going to be pretty happy to get that bottom tier 1. I think it opens up for the jungle somewhat, so Shadow Fiend can find some farm there. Weaver as well, excellent split push hero, so having that access means that he can go and push out 1 or 2 waves on the bottom lane, take a couple of Radiant creep camps and just continue that cycle over and over.
Look at this stat. 13:25 Orchid on the Queen of Pain. Sets a new record by just 2 seconds, but that is a ridiculously fast Orchid.
He's terrifying.
Yeah, 15 minutes, you'd say, yeah, it's pretty well-timed Orchid. Anything earlier than that, and you're in prime territory. They also get the tier 1 tower up top, so Rave still finding objectives as now Invasion are out of tier 1s.
Invasion, somewhat two-pronged attack here with 3 heroes turning up mid and 2 down bottom. They're going to see a couple of TPs come in, I believe, to the bottom lane. But looks like Chrissy looking for this kill, goes blinking in, jumps in with the Sonic Wave, but the stolen Sonic Wave is there with the lift. Couple of auto attacks. Chrissy's got the blink away, survives on 100 health.
Nicely played by the Rocket. Oh, can they get an Ice Blast?
Oh, it's
Slicks
a
is
Shadow
down.
Fiend.
Oh, Chrissy blinks back with Slicks. He'll dive this. Can they punish this dive? Chrissy might still be able to live. This is going to be a close call. Orchid comes out onto Slicks. He blinks back and destroys it. The Ice Blast, so he juked nicely. Played by Chrissy. Slicks gets punished for it, and it's Rave that come out big. Oh boy. The Clockwork will finish him off, though. Chrissy, he was juking and jiving, and the last Rocket got him. Oh my good gracious. Still an advantage for Rave, though. Both of the big cores on Invasion hit the deck, Shadow Fiend and Weaver in exchange for the Queen of Pain. Wow, that was explosive.
That was just ridiculous. Like, what a sequence all the way, the whole distance down that bottom lane. We have the kill over here, a little bit further, Slicks comes roaring in with the haste rune, and yeah, things got very, very interesting very quickly. What else have we got now? So we have the Midas over on the Ancient Apparition, as our observer was just showing us. So it looks like Boone's... Wow. I think he's kind of secure now in his game, right?
That's a really good timing.
Yeah, I think he's pretty happy with how things are going. There's a Blade Mail over on the Clockwork as well, so he's pretty well positioned to continue moving around and looking for these more or less solo pickoffs. The Phantom Lancer has been kind of quietly doing his own thing, though, and Jayo has a very farmy build here as well. He's got the Yasha as the first item. He's got the bottle to keep him out on the map and farming the jungle nonstop. And I like that a lot from him because the Queen of Pain has a very gank-oriented build. So he can soak up all of the farm on the map that Chrissy is making available by just moving around.
Yeah, again, finding that efficiency that we talked about earlier on. And he's closing into that Diffusal Blade. And once he picks that up, that's when PL goes from a little underwhelming in terms of damage output to quite scary. You can just doppelgang, then all those illusions that are otherwise rather weak and don't do much damage will be able to burn some mana and subsequently really increase his damage output. So things feeling pretty decent for Rave here. Slick still farming very nicely on the Shadow Fiend and tangoing for that #1 position on net worth, and getting this tower will help him out a little bit in the battle to out-farm the Quap, but he's the only one with that really massive farm. We see Weaver with a... okay, he goes Maelstrom. I was going to say, he has that Mithril Hammer. I thought it would be the Desolator, but Maelstrom Weaver, not too often you see this one.
I think building into the Mjolnir is great because he can throw it on the Clockwork later on, so I don't know if he's necessarily going to go at first, but it speeds up his farm and gives him some more illusion clear as well.
Yeah, interesting. So now Ancient Apparition, right after the Midas, goes into the Medallion. That is a slight variation as well. You'll see a lot of Ancient Apparitions really prioritize the Aghanim Scepter because of how amazing the upgrade is, but I guess they feel like they need the Medallion to perhaps sneak a Roche and have just a little more sustainability. I'm trying to think of the last time I saw a Medallion on Ancient Apparition. That's a really rare hero item comparing, I think.
I saw one in the China qualifier, but yeah, for sure. I mean, people tend to value the Aghanim Scepter quite a bit more.
Oh, hook shot onto Chrissy.
I need the lift. Extinctor's just a little ways away.
And he'll TP home. Close call there for the Quap, but will live.
Oh, they know they forced him. I mean, they forced him all the way back to base, but it's a Queen of Pain, so it doesn't open up that much time for them. Shatan's actually the one with the double damage at the moment on the Clockwork, and oh, brave Ryo.
Blink, oh, the Echo Slam all over Invasion. They're in trouble here, Basecamp. The Death Lord on the high ground laying in so much damage into this dire side. Slicks will die. It's a Death Requiem that comes out. Shatan, as well as the Weaver, trying to find some recovery kills. Indeed, they will. It ends as a 2 for 3, but now Quap's coming in to play cleanup. Can she find one? Weaver's been dusted. What a beautiful fissure. Completely blocks him out. Sets up for the Orchid. Tries to TP home, and that ain't happening. It's a huge victory for Rave. All set up by a brilliant initiation from the Earthshaker.
How do you go for that Roshan without having a ward on the cliff? They had no vision to speak of. in the area for Invasion, and that feels like it was a huge gamble there. I mean, even knowing that you've sent the Queen of Pain back, she's going to be getting out to the Roshan pit pretty quickly, and you have to anticipate that it almost doesn't matter where the Earthshaker is on the map. He can still TP to the bottom tier 2 and get over there in time to throw a Fissure and slow you down. Invasion's Roshan lineup is good, but it's not so amazing that they can finish it in 15 seconds flat and get out safely. I think even if they'd finished the Roshan,
that still would have been disastrous.
They still might have gotten caught, and they still might have been a very good fight for Rave. And now Queen of Pain is huge, has her BKB completed. She's almost level 16 as well. The Fusel Blade on the Phantom Lancer. Huge number of items coming up. The top lane is totally open now as well for the Phantom Lancer just to rotate through the jungle and keep on split pushing, which is going to make even more space. Yeah. And I feel like Invasion are starting to lose it again somewhat. This game definitely looking better, I think, at this stage than the previous one did, and they do have some late game potential, but
heard a hook shot that'll be off the mark there as the Force Staff comes out for Clockwork. And Force Staff on the Earthshaker. Ryo going for a pretty similar build to what he did last game, aside from that boot variation. Weaver, you need to be a little bit careful here. He'll pop forward. Fissure breaks things up a little bit. Ninja Boogie will dust him. It does connect. Shaitan comes in with his Force Staff. MB will just hit him with a stun. Now the cast just bouncing around all these heroes. And will buy Rave the time they need to back out. TP home, and he'll survive.
That cast turned out to be a massive nuisance. Chrissy as well, 50% health.
More than that. It's almost 2/3 bout of damage on that tier 3. That's pretty nice for 23 minutes in.
Yeah, they're just settling into split push. Like we talked about during the draft, Invasion have such a hard time punishing the split push and punishing these extremely mobile heroes, especially since they've put the Ancient Apparition in the 4 position as opposed to the Rubik. I think if you have a Rubik Blink Dagger, this is a pretty different story, but without that, what do Rave have to fear? I mean, Shaitan has to play it absolutely perfectly to hookshot in and then bounce you back with a cog if you're the Queen of Pain, and if you're the Phantom Lancer, I think there's actually nothing that can really threaten you at this stage. Slicks.
BKB debuted here from Slicks. He will channel the Requiem, but didn't really do a hell of a lot. Hits the Lion most notably, and he'll be on the back foot, but if Fissure breaks things up again, Slicks will lose his BKB buff now, and looks like Rave will be able to get away with this one scot-free. All heroes still alive, or will they? Hook shot onto Cast from close range. He's going down here, but all things considered, not the highest value kill there.
That was a super panic death ward. It's like, oh, I'm in cogs with the Clockwork,
with battery assault.
With battery assault, let's get a fraction of a second of a death ward off. Oh, Extinct was dewarding with not a whole lot of backup.
Oh my, he's definitely going down. Jo with plenty of damage from the Diffusal, and we'll take a little bit of extra mana from the Ancient Apparition. Here we go, the rest of the fight will follow up. Chrissy does have an ultimate here. Orchid comes out onto Slicks. Sonic Wave, he's going to hold it for now, and Slicks will just take the finger from the Demon Witch instead. You know, I feel like this Earthshaker has just been on point from Ryo.
Both games.
Not only from the laning stage, the initiation from that Echo Slam, but his Fissures have just been incredible.
Every single one, yeah.
So many just key moment block-offs right on the edge of it, stopping them from getting that escape path. He's done so much for his team to set up these kills.
And I mean, even on BKB heroes, that most recent one that we saw on the mid lane, the Shadow Fiend and one other, both looking for the kill on the Lion. Lion isn't even the most high-value target, but still puts down the Fissure, uses his Force Staff extremely well, and he's been making so many plays for his team thus far. And I want to emphasize again that he was put in an unfavorable laning matchup right from the word go. I think Invasion were feeling like, okay, look, this time around we've got better solutions to the Clockwork, and we should be able to deal with him, but, well, Ryo is definitely proving them wrong at the moment.
Weaver looking towards probably a BKB, yeah, with that Ogre Club, but I don't know if that's going to be enough to really regain a lot of momentum here. If we can take a look at the net worth chart, I'm sure Rave have a pretty solid lead, and upwards of about 6K in terms of net worth, and even more in the way of experience, almost breaching that 5-figure mark.
It's scary, and the Shadow Fiend has started to fall behind a little bit overall. And
Glimmer Cape.
Oh man, It's actually really good this game as well. So not too shocked to see the same build coming out of the Earthshaker, who has now actually eclipsed 2 out of the 3 cores on Invasion in terms of overall farm. Other big thing for me is that Invasion have really struggled to maintain vision right now. There isn't even, I don't think there's even a gem picked up for the Radiant side. They've just been placing down sentry wards nonstop and have pretty much managed to counter every single one of Invasion's wards. They probably have some in inventories somewhere though. Yeah, looks like Extinct sitting on a couple of observers, so they just haven't really found or at least from his perspective, hasn't found a good opportunity to go out on the map and get those placed.
And again, Chrissy doing some split pushing here and continuing to put pressure on the base. Will force Slicks to TP back. Ice Blast just half a second too late, and Chrissy will be just fine. All right, things still looking pretty good for Rave here as they continue to farm around the map. PL picked up the Manta style, very core item on PL. Lets him have a lot more burst damage and spawn illusions much more easily. Another beautiful echo set up from Ryle. A fissure to block the escape path. Finger comes out from Ninja Boogie. A fast 3-for-0 as Rave just cut him down and now take their stacked Ancients. It's a double whammy here in favor of Rave. This is getting a bit out of control here, Kip.
Yeah, it's not looking very pleasant for Invasion at this stage. The Weaver is not able to keep up on farm at all, even with the Maelstrom build up. The Queen of Pain is having the time of her life. Nice Ice Blast comes flying in, and buyback out of the Clockwork.
Okay.
Town wants them out of the Roshan pit
They'll
right
repel
now.
the Roche, actually.
Yes.
I would say that that's a worth it buyback. They won't find any kills out of it, of course, but Rave respecting the power of the hook shot in that kind of a situation.
Yeah. The 2-2 still stands bottom lane, so Invasion did have the opportunity to get people in there.
True.
And try and fight for the pit. Slicks is going to end up going for a blink. He needs another right-clicking item, but I also feel like he needs to build up a Hex at some stage. They need to cover their weakness on single target lockdown somehow. If he picks up, if they somehow stay in this game long enough for Slicks to be able to buy some kind of a right-clicking item like a Scotty or a Butterfly, say, and then manages to go for a Hex afterwards, then I feel like they're in an all-right position. But
why did he use the Shivas there? That was kind of odd.
I'll probably move hotkeys around a little bit.
Okay, because now they're about to fight in the Roche pit. Whoa, what a sonic wave. Connects on all 4, but Roche very low. Can they snatch the last hit? No, goes to the Dire. Slicks is the one to grab the Aegis. Shaitan very low. Ice Blast connects onto Chrissy, but Slicks still healthy for now. 2-for-0 back and forth. Weaver, I don't think he's going to survive this one. Nope, Finger of Death is there, and it will be a 3-for-0. So even though Invasion do get the Roche and walk away with the Aegis, it comes at a big cost.
Yeah, no. Rubik not managing to get anything off in that fight, just getting blown up right from the word go. Weaver manages to use the time lapse, but still just does not matter. There is so much lockdown on Rave. And yeah. 4-1 and 11, 4-1 and 10 this game. Extremely consistent and extremely impressive Earthshaker play from Ryo in both games.
If this keeps up, I think we should expect to see some Earthshaker respect bands come out. I mean, it's very impressive stuff.
Well, you feel like you need to ban the Undying, at least from Invasion's perspective. They felt that it needs to ban the Undying, they needed to ban the Wisp. And if you feel like you need to ban the Earthshaker as well, all of a sudden you're running a little bit low on slots.
I think of those 3, I would let the Undying come through, based on how the Earthshakers come out and how successful Rave has been with Wisp in the past. Not that Undying is fun to play against, but the lesser of the 3 evils, I suppose. Now Force Staff on the Lion, so still huge mobility coming out on the side of Rave. And their lead just getting bigger and bigger at this point.
Yeah, just controlling the entire map, getting some couple of wards down over on the Dire side. Invasion is still kind of holding on for dear life, but it feels very similar sort of to the situation that they found themselves in the last game, that Rave were just kind of out-farming them, taking better team fights, and slowly but surely encroaching towards that Dire base.
Yeah, this one maybe a little more lopsided than the last game, but Shaitan, he didn't even need a fissure for that Kip. That was just a straight Echo Totem to the face.
Yeah, that was definitely not fun. But And the fact that Earthshaker could even just get away with that kind of a play, I think speaks volumes about the situation that Invasion find themselves in. It's like, yeah, you know, my team is all the way over on the other side of the map, really, but I'm just going to come solo kill your Clockwork and then go back to hitting some creeps. He's got another 2.2k gold, so can really start working towards
Go for the Daedalus, dude. Let's have some fun here. Let's see some big crit.
Yeah.
Let's see the numbers.
I mean, Refresher Orb also on the card, something like that. He's been hitting so many multi-hero Echo Slams that it could actually be worth it to pick up an Aghanim Scepter in like one of the very rare situations that I've seen for an Earthshaker where that item actually might be somewhat impressive.
He could also just go for something like a Lothar's, have another bout of mobility, and then also kind of synergize with the crit shaker, core shaker here. Also a gem was picked up on the Witch Doctor. I don't think we mentioned that, but he just grabbed it about a minute ago. And now they have yet another tool to deal with the Weaver. Looks like he handed it over to Ninja Boogie, but Witch Doctor's the one that bought it. Rubik will just kind of fall over somewhere. Not sure what happened there. I was distracting our observer with the gem.
But yeah, just got jumped by the Queen of Pain. Didn't even really need to invest anything. It was just ordered.
Nice shot.
Shaitan, but there's a force tap.
Yep, and follow-up is there. Ice Blast will connect on Jail, but they just bring down the Clockwork in a matter of seconds. Now the Weaver will try and hightail it out of there. Chilling Touch comes out from Boons. He'll TP home, cast on his way in, and won't be able to get off any kind of a paralyzing cast there. Invasion forced to turn tail and run towards the base.
And Rave looks like just going to set up shop. Once again, everyone's splitting up. Going to go and grab some farm. Looks like Jo heading over towards the Ancients. They've got the Dire jungle covered. They've got wards right up against the Dire base right now. And I guess... who's got current gold actually to spend at the moment? What items might be?
I bet Queen of Pain does.
Yeah,
oh, what a surprise!
It's Chrissy. Well, who would have guessed?
There you go.
I think this time around it makes a little bit more sense. He's starting to become more limited on item slots.
And he also just picked up the Shivas. He hasn't really been holding on to the gold for that long. They just have found a couple of successful pickoffs. So.
Yeah, and they're very close to Heart on the Phantom Lancer as well. He's already got his Reaver, so just needs a little bit more to finish that. So those are probably Refresher Orb on the Queen of Pain and Heart on the Phantom Lancer, probably the two big pickups that they're looking for, and then going to go
Ninja Boogie breaks the smoke, point blank hook shot. That'll be the end of him, and exactly right. A huge pickoff for Invasion, and normally a Lion is not the target you want in that kind of a scenario, but I think they'll happily take that one.
Yeah, and Lion is actually, I think, one of the few heroes that gank is actually a guaranteed kill on.
Yeah, he has no force staff, right?
Yeah, Queen of Pain can just pop BKB.
Oh, he does have a force staff.
He does have a force staff, but he got lifted and he's got relatively low health, so that was not great. But now Invasion are going to be able to use that gem and reclaim a bit of map control over on their side, somewhat. Still getting some farm. I still think that the Shadow Fiend, if he gets that damage item plus Hex potentially, is going to start being pretty scary. But
Aghanims. Okay.
Oh, she didn't even have the Ags yet. I was talking about Refresher with that Aghanims completed. Okay, that's on me. Okay, so there's the Ags up for the Queen of Pain.
Chrissy is in the danger zone here, in extraordinarily deep. Will try to BKB to make it out, and that will be enough for him to live. The rest of the team on their way in. Looks like the PL is ready to fight and eager to do so.
Oh, that was so slick. He actually orchided the Rubik before she got lifted. If she doesn't make that specific play, Chrissy dies 100%.
Yeah,
because
the Sonic Wave.
Yeah, the lift duration.
Oh no, he didn't even Sonic Wave.
No, he just dies in the lift duration.
Oh,
so he specifically has to orchid the Rubik, otherwise he just dies.
Right.
So that was really heads up play from him. And yeah, gets him away. It does cost him a BKB charge, but
well worth it.
Yeah, definitely well worth it to keep the pressure on here.
Sonic Wave will not connect on the Shadow Fiend, but clears out that creep wave. Right now, it's just the Shadow Fiend, I feel like, keeping Invasion in this game. I mean, the team rotations have been great, but you look at the farm distribution. He's the only one that's at least in the mix in terms of net worth. Everyone else just so broke right now. Weaver picked up a BKB, a much-needed survivability tool, but the damage output is just not quite there. Nice hook shot in from Shaitan. This time the telekinesis will go off. Chrissy likely to shatter here. Perhaps can they get any more damage on him? Will pop the Shivas. Ninja Boogie nearby also. This is a close call for Chrissy, but just barely lives. Ninja Boogie may be the sacrificial lamb that gets left behind. He'll have an Earth Spike in 2, but Cogs push him away, and it will be a 1-0. But all the while, Ayo, it's Jo in the top lane. Tier 3 tower goes down, Clockwork TP's in, and, well, he might not be so excited about that. He'll lose all of his mana, get pushed back, and Cheo feeling very brave here. He's all by his lonesome, will doppelgang away. Now the telekinesis comes out. Can they actually punish this enough to find a kill? He wants to go back in and fight. He brings down Extinct, Slicks, channels a Requiem, finishes off the illusion
here as well.
I mean, just look how massive Cheo is. There's the Sonic Wave, brings down the Ancient Apparition, and this feels like the beginning of the end for the Dire side here in our opening series. 2 heroes down. There is a buyback on the Ancient Apparition, but we'll hold it for now with this top lane of Barracks exposed.
And Cheo just sticking around, has his heart regen. Chrissy, a little bit low, but another Sonic Wave shouldn't be too far away. And, I mean, where are the rest of Rave? Witch Doctor's all the way down bot, pushing down. Here comes Ryo.
Oh my, Orchid into a big Echo, even just on one, but that'll be the gem on the deck. A lot of buybacks available here from Invasion, but holding on to them for now, rather. Slicks will lose his BKB, can't even make it back to the well. He has the buyback available also, but they're not even going to burn it. Instead, Invasion will call GG, and Rave goes 2-0 in the opening best-of-2 series here in the SCA qualifier.
Yep. And looking very strong in the process as well. I mean, I think we were talking a lot about Ryo's Earthshaker play, but what a series from him.
Yeah.
If teams are watching, I'm expecting to see some bans on that moving forward.
Absolutely. They prioritized it a lot.